I've checked and rechecked everything. I think...
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto. Pull yourself together and get up onto that platform. Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your mom.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
Shh. It'll be okay, Sean. Mommy's here now.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Sean, please. Calm down. I'll get you out of there.
Father? Father, help me! She's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father. That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute. Just as you are a parent to your son. To Sean.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am. Raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
It wasn't right, what they did. Taking you from me like that.
To you, that would certainly seem true. But to the Institute, it made all the sense in the world. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens. That's why they took you?
In a manner of speaking. Yes. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your father. He never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But, Director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. I know there's more for us to discuss, but the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here, in the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
I don't know what to do.
I realize that. It's why I'm trying to help you. I hope that you can see that rationally. The Institute is the only thing left in the world that is worth being part of. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
I just don't know.
Just give it time. Give the Institute a chance. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience. And finally, Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Nice.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Excuse me, Dr. Lee?
Oh, it's you. You're not authorized to be here.
Actually, I was looking for you.
Me? Why?
You're the scientist. Why do you think I'm here?
Well, let's see. A Brotherhood of Steel airship arrives in the Commonwealth. You find... I knew it was just a matter of time before you're...
Right.
I've been looking over my shoulder for almost a decade, waiting...
Why would we want you dead?
I did some pretty sensitive work for the Brotherhood of Steel. Even though Lyons let me go, there were a few others in the ranks that thought I knew too. That's why I came to the Institute. It was the only place that I thought I'd be out... Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
Are you happy here?
You'd think, being surrounded by cutting-edge laboratory equipment and some of the great... Only problem is the lack of transparency.
Right.
What does that have to do with why we're talking?
The Brotherhood needs your help, Doctor.
Needs... They seem to have everything under control.
The Brotherhood valued your presence, and we'd like you to come back.
Well, how sweet of them. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
Father trusts me, and so should you.
He trusts you because you're family. I'm not. I can't just take your word for it. I need more than that.
The Brotherhood has always been straight with you.
I am getting a bit tired of all the secrets around here. Sometimes I feel like Father isn't being straight with me. Like there are things I'm not supposed to know about. I don't like that. But still, how can I turn my back on all of this?
I give up. What would it take to convince you?
All right, I'll play your game. I had a colleague down here, a Dr. Virgil. Several months ago, there was an accident in his lab. I wanted to help with the investigation, but Father, the incident never sat right with me. If you bring me solid information on what killed him, do we have a deal?
Deal.
All right. Dr. Virgil's lab was in the I can give you a code that will get you in. I'd tell you to be quiet. And finally, now, for the sake of keeping up appearances, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out.
Thank you. I'm sure...
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute,
Sure.
in case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the... If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of... Speaking of, I trust our...
Dr. Lee.
Took you long enough to find that evidence. Let me see what you've got.
I'm afraid it's...
Since when do you know what I... Just let me hear.
I'm gonna make sure the whole program is shut down. If not for good, then at least for years to come. After that, I know what I'm about to do will be seen as a betrayal. Treason, he'll probably call it. So, I'm leaving. I have a plan. And if it works, I'll be somewhere safe. Somewhere not even the coursers can find me.
They lied to me. They lied to me, and I didn't even realize how far it went. All those years of loyalty. For nothing.
No matter how badly it hurts.
And for that, I thank you. I came to the Institute to get away from the Brotherhood. Father took me in and gave me access. I became jaded. I thought that the Institute cared, but now, if they lied about Dr. Virgil, who knows? I'll make my way back to the Brotherhood. But I'm going to have to tell whoever sent you that they've just regained the services.
Heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
What now?
Pardon me,
Dragging their
ma'am.
feet on the
Everyone's
targeting
excited
package
about the
upgrades
new
I have.
synth project.
Maybe I should take some courses with me. Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other
Doc?
departments.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, I'm sure you understand. There won't...
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. It's nothing personal. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview. Our primary responsibility...
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings. As to why they're escaping? That matter. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless.
Sure.
But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be... I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to it.
You mentioned that coursers undergo special training.
The SRB constantly monitors those who show tenacity. We teach them those who pass a final...
The Directorate should take the synth escapes more seriously.
Theoretical limits are made to be broken.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
Rosalind is as smart as she is beautiful.
Doctor?
I just
Welcome.
wish
So good
I'd
to have
been
you
here
here.
to notice me.
Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
I look forward to learning more.
In that case, let me give you a brief
Sure.
As the name implies, the Bios, our most important direct. To that end, we cultivate high... We've even started to explore the idea. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point.
The gorillas?
They are indeed. Judging by the initiative is still in its early stages. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm not sure. Right now.
It's a big decision, I know. But it's... In any case, I imagine you'll want to...
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Take care, then.
Excuse me, Doctor.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right.
Sure.
When Father told us about you, I could hardly... If you don't mind...
Right? I just wanted to find...
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division. As you might guess, We keep the Institute's mechanical and we maintain and upgrade all of the systems. There's a lot of machinery behind. The work we do might not be as... So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
I'm just looking around.
I see. Well, please do mind what you touch. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the facilities...
Sure. I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
I received word that Dr. Lee is returning to us. How cooperative do you think she'll be?
I convinced her that the Institute is the enemy.
Well done, Knight. As soon as Dr. Lee arrives, we'll interrogate. She's been under the Institute's influence for the last decade. Now, I believe you still possess an important... I want you to bring it to her once again, Knight.
Here's your holotape, Proctor. Hope the data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the...
I have confidence in everything I built, too. But that's because I'll only deal... Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'm dying to find out what's on it.
Hopefully it'll...
That would be the best case. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what... I'm sure the Institute has all of their data. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. In the meantime, I've got a new... So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new...
Whatever it is?
It will, but come on. It's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that... In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
No problem.
I wish I had your... Because this...
Sure.
Now, the good news is that we've got... The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some... The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile. I do all the maintenance on the Pridwin. As much as... Luckily, you were able to convince Dr. Madison Lee to return. She was on the original build team for Liberty Prime a little... I've already spoken to her, but she's reluctant to work on Prime for some... If you could get her down here to lend a hand with his power system...
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
You promised you'd help us.
You're right, I did. But you neglected to mention that I'd be asked to work on Liberty Prime. I've been down this road with the Brotherhood before. Why would I make the same mistake twice?
Why won't you help us with Liberty Prime?
We deserve an answer, Doctor.
I originally left the Brotherhood because I was tired of being stepped on and used. First, there was the Water Purification Project, designed to freely benefit the entire Capital Wasteland. Even though the Brotherhood allowed it to be activated, they wanted to control it. But that wasn't enough. They forced me to help design Liberty Prime. Turned my work into a weapon of war. I had enough, so I left. It's as simple as that.
Because we care what happens...
And we want to stop the Institute.
You know, if anyone else wearing a Brotherhood of Steel uniform said something like that. But coming from you, tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime...
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram?
Well, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Doctor?
I hope so. Prime suffered some significant damage to his memory core. I wish your people would have been a bit more careful, Proctor. The good news is that the damage isn't irreversible, and I should be able to get the power flowing into his CPU core without overloading. If your people stay out of my way, that is.
Charming, isn't she?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We might be butting heads on it. Besides, Doc, we're working with one of Prime's original designers. In fact, since things are going so well...
Sure. Anything you...
That's what I love about you. You're ready to leap into the actuators. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic piston. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets. What we need you to do is build the actuators.
Now that you know what the actuators are, you need to know how to make them. These are the plans and the materials list.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in... We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll... Good luck.
I'm not gonna make this easy for you. Think you're clever? I lost them.
Proctor Ingram?
That's all 4 actuators. Delivered and done. Nice work.
Right on schedule. I've completed the restoration of Prime. In fact, it's getting difficult to explain to...
Well, as soon as my scribes get those actuators... Which brings me to your next... It won't be long before Prime can walk and talk. But he's missing...
Sure.
Without them, his office...
Shouldn't be a problem.
I wish I could. Prime's bomb pack is fitted for Mark 28 nuclear bombs. The same type of bomb. The Commonwealth was a major staging area for the military's air. But since we arrived, our scouting teams haven't...
That's going to be a problem.
Right.
Without a fully loaded nuke pack.
She's right.
Of course she's right. But before you give up hope, Proctor Quinlan has located some records regarding a military... We're fairly certain. The catch is that the installation is located somewhere within the glowing sea.
I'll head out there.
Good, because that's exactly... Scribe Halen's established a communications point on... I suggest you head out there. Hopefully, by the time you've returned, we'll be ready to wake Prime up. Good luck, Knight.
No mercy!
State your purpose, stranger. You walk on Atom's hallowed ground.
Who's Atom?
Atom is all. He is the bringer of light, the great divider.
I'm looking for...
The children of Atom have sworn to guard this place.
Sure. Trust me.
Atom has no need. When he returns to us, these relics, that is why they must...
This man is obviously delusional.
Right?
I recommend we switch tactics.
I want to spread his glory. Look, the bombs will get used, okay? Isn't that what you want?
Perhaps then I have misjudged you. If you would see these relics, take this, and follow the brilliance of the glow. May Atom's radiance...
Ma'am?
Excuse me, Paladin Dance.
Now that this site's been secured, you should...
Good idea. Wouldn't want these things...
I'll meet you out.
Ingram?
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee?
We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty Prime. And I'm just hoping all the work I've done to keep his system stable are gonna hold.
I have full confidence.
I appreciate that.
Proctor? All the readouts look green?
Actually, I think I'm gonna let you press them. After all, without your help...
It would be better if a trained technician performed that task, but...
But Liberty Prime's looking pretty good.
With him on our side,
I couldn't agree with you more. Before you head off to your next assignment, I came up with this little beauty myself.
You think I'll need it for my...
I don't know, but it never hurts. Anyway, that's enough of that. You better... Elder Maxson said he needed to speak to you as soon... And thank you, Knight.
Right?
Is there anything you wish to tell me, Knight?
Not at all. I have nothing to hide.
I find that very hard to believe. Proctor Quinlan completed the decryption of the data you were... A portion of his findings included a list of synths that went missing or escaped from their underground facility. After careful analysis of the information, we've discovered something unprecedented. Paladin Dance is a perfect match for one of the synths on that list.
That's impossible.
I'm afraid not. The evidence is quite damning. The data you brought back included a record of each subject's DNA. We keep the same information on file for all of our soldiers. Paladin Dance's DNA is a perfect match for a synth they called M797. To make matters worse, he's gone AWOL. Disappeared without a trace. His sudden absence simply reinforces our conclusion that M797 and Paladin Dance are one and the same. I'm finding it difficult to believe that he never confided in you, and then swore you to secrecy.
You have to believe me. He never told me he was a synth.
Apparently, I've misjudged you, which means I've decided to... However, that doesn't absolve you. Dance is a synth. He represents everything. Our mission in the Commonwealth is clear. The Institute, which leaves me facing the most difficult... I'm ordering you to hunt...
With pleasure.
I appreciate. Listen, I'm not blind to the fact that Dance was your... But if we're to remain strong, we can't Find Proctor Quinlan. And Knight. There's a promotion for you. You're dismissed.
Looks like Liberty Prime's coming along. Can't wait to see him smash the Institute.
Quinlan?
Oh, Knight. I was told you were coming. Sorry about this business with Dance.
What do you know about the situation?
While I was decrypting all of the data, it appears that the Institute keeps exemplary records where there's... As I was perusing this list, I came across an image of Dance under the heading M797. A quick DNA comparison with... I'm certain this comes as quite...
I don't need apologies. I need to know where he is.
Yes, you're quite right. I've been poring over Dance's duty reports, and as you're well aware, Dance had intimate knowledge of the Commonwealth. I think our best approach would be to identify... You may want to get comfortable.
What the hell is this crap about
Right.
I assume your outburst was a reference to some doubt regarding...
So he sets Dance up, and then you knock him down.
How did you hear about it?
There are no secrets in the Maxon's made it clear that we're to locate Paladin Dance, and if we find him, that can only mean you've been sent to hunt him down.
Orders are orders.
Orders are orders? I can't believe that after everything Paladin Dance did, there's obviously been a mistake, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
Scribe Halen, you're addressing a senior officer, and you will show her the respect that she's due. Now, unless you're here with information that can assist us, I suggest you return to the police station immediately.
Of course. I believe I have some information that's relevant to the search.
Very well then.
Knight, if you'd accompany me to the flight deck, I'd like to show you the information I've compiled firsthand. I've stored the data on my vertibird gun.
At this point, I'll take all the help I can get.
Very good, ma'am.
Proceed, Knight.
If you'll follow me, ma'am.
Well, if it isn't the woman who revived Prime.
Scribe.
Do you actually plan on killing Paladin Dance? Well, before you... I've known Paladin Dance. He trained me, showed me the ropes, and he's earned my admiration.
Sure.
I don't care what Quinlan's report says. I don't care.
Why are you...
Because someone has to before you rush off and carry out Maxon's order. Dance is the most selfless person I've ever met. That's why I'm asking you. Not just as a member. If you're not convinced by what he says, or somehow...
All right, I'll hear him out.
That's all that I ask. I'll just have to trust that when the time comes... Before the Pribwin showed up, Dance had me identify a fallback. It was Listening Post Bravo, an old pre-war US military... It's isolated. Just be careful. There's no time.
I'm not surprised Maxon sent you. He never...
I wish you would have told me the truth, Dance.
I might have, if I'd known what I was. Until Quinlan got that list decoded. I thought I never expected to hear that I was one of them.
Right.
If it wasn't for Halen, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So, what are your orders? Does Maxon even want me alive?
No. But I don't know what to do.
Seems obvious to me. Look, I'm not blind to the fact. I wish Maxon had sensed.
Sure.
But that doesn't change a thing. If you disobey your orders, you're not only betraying Maxon. Synths can't be trusted. Machines were never meant to make. Technology that's run amok is what brought the entire world to its knees. I need to be the example, not the exception.
If you really feel...
The moment I learned the truth, I knew my life. I'm a soldier, so self-preservation kicked in. Once I got here, and I had some time to think, I should have stayed on the Pridwin and accept. Like I said,
I see you've calculated all the variables.
Your anger simply proves I'm ready to accept the consequence. Maxon's ordered you to execute me, and I'll be...
If it needs to be done?
I've never been prouder of you than I am. It's been a pleasure serving.
Victorian sister.
Hold up, Knight. Let me make one... Knight?
Proximity sensor's green. Getting a 3-second ping back.
Getting a bit of twitch on
Sir.
Prop 3.
Report,
Adjusting
Knight.
torque.
Have you handled the situation with Paladin Dance?
Did you want his holotags as proof?
That won't be necessary.
Sure.
Perhaps you should keep them as a reminder. Of course. Dance's execution creates a missing... That traitor held quite an important position with us. His quarters and all his possessions are now yours. And congratulations, Paladin.
Mm-hmm. I won't disappoint.
Had I even a single doubt in my mind, just be aware that at Brotherhood Paladin, I trust you won't disappoint them. In any event, we still have the Institute to contend with. While the finishing touches, report to him immediately. Ad Victoriam, Paladin.